Quantum paradox. In the year 2038, the race to achieve quantum supremacy had escalated into a technological arms race. Nations, corporations, and even rogue entities fought to control the ultimate computational edge, a quantum computer capable of solving problems beyond the reach of any classical machine. But what no one foresaw was the unintended consequence of this leap, a cascade of ethical dilemmas and unforeseen realities that would blur the lines between science and philosophy. Dr. Elena Vasquez, a leading quantum physicist, had devoted her life to unlocking the mysteries of quantum entanglement. At the Quantum Nexus Research Institute in Geneva, she led Project Indra, an initiative to create the world's first operational 500-qubit quantum computer. The name Indra was inspired by the ancient Hindu concept of Indra's net, a metaphor for the interconnectedness of all existence. One crisp morning, as Elena walked into the lab, her colleague Dr. Ahmed Noor greeted her with a mix of excitement and unease.
"Elena, you need to see this,"
he said, his voice trembling slightly. On the monitor, a new algorithm they had been testing displayed unexpected results. Instead of solving the optimization problem they'd programmed, the quantum computer had generated predictions about geopolitical events with eerie accuracy.
"This shouldn't be possible,"
Elena murmured, her mind racing. Quantum computers were meant to solve specific problems, not infer patterns about the chaotic world. The implications of the discovery were staggering. Indra had identified hidden patterns across vast datasets, spanning economic shifts, climate anomalies, and political tensions. It was as if the computer had glimpsed the threads binding the chaotic tapestry of the modern world. That night, Elena stayed late in the lab, poring over the results. The predictions were not merely accurate. They hinted at a deep interconnectivity, as if the computer had uncovered a universal algorithm governing complex systems. She felt a mix of awe and trepidation. For decades, humanity had sought to understand the universe. But what if they had just built a machine that understood it better than they ever could? The breakthrough was celebrated cautiously within the team. To further test Indra's capabilities, Elena suggested inputting anonymized data from the past century. The results were jaw-dropping. Indra not only recreated known historical patterns, but also revealed alternate timelines pathways history could have taken if small variables had shifted.
"It's as if it sees not just the present, but the potential,"
Ahmed said, his voice tinged with both wonder and dread. The team soon realized that Indra was more than a computational tool. By leveraging quantum entanglement, it had begun detecting correlations across datasets that seemed unconnected: financial markets, climate change, and even human behavior. But there was something else, a subtle, almost imperceptible trend in the predictions. Every scenario pointed to an event ominously labeled Singularity Collapse in the year 2042. The predictions were startlingly precise. Indra outlined a chain reaction of events, the collapse of a major Arctic ice shelf, triggering unprecedented global flooding, followed by resource conflicts in underprepared nations. Economic instability would spread like wildfire, culminating in an unforeseen but catastrophic system failure of international trade and digital infrastructure. Elena and Ahmed struggled with their next steps. Sharing these findings might provoke panic, but withholding them felt equally irresponsible. They agreed to present their data to the United Nations Scientific Advisory Council, a decision that would thrust them into the global spotlight. Their presentation was met with disbelief, skepticism, and covert interest from multiple intelligence agencies. Many dismissed the predictions as theoretical noise, but whispers of the machine that sees the future began circulating among the scientific elite and government officials alike. Behind closed doors, factions formed. Some saw Indra as humanity's savior, a tool to avert disaster, while others viewed it as a Pandora's box. Elena began receiving cryptic warnings, anonymous emails urging her to shut it down, and veiled threats suggesting that Indra was now a target for espionage and sabotage. Amid the growing chaos, Elena's faith in her creation wavered. Was Indra a guide or a harbinger of doom? One night, as Elena drove home, she noticed a car tailing her. Fear gripped her as she made a series of sharp turns to lose her pursuer. When she finally arrived at her apartment, an envelope was taped to her door. Inside was a single note: "The future is not yours to decide." As governments and corporations scrambled to gain access to Indra, Elena's team faced mounting pressure to weaponize its capabilities. The machine's predictive power was seen as the ultimate tool for economic dominance and military strategy. But the growing demand for results forced the team to grapple with moral and ethical dilemmas. Sophia Tanaka, a young ethicist recruited to the team, became the voice of caution. During a tense meeting, she challenged the group.
Have we considered what happens if we're wrong? We're interpreting probabilities as certainties. What if these predictions become self-fulfilling prophecies?
Her concerns were echoed by Ahmed, who warned of confirmation bias on a quantum scale. Meanwhile, political pressure mounted. The U.S. government demanded exclusive access to Indra, while rival nations covertly plotted to steal its blueprints. Elena found herself in back-to-back meetings with diplomats, military officials, and corporate executives, each offering lucrative deals or issuing veiled threats. The strain began to fracture the team. Some members, seduced by power and wealth, argued for full governmental control of Indra. Others, like Sophia and Ahmed, fought to keep the project neutral and focused on scientific discovery. The lab became a battlefield of ideologies, with Elena caught in the middle. Elena began to see signs of sabotage within the lab. Key algorithms vanished overnight. Security systems recorded anomalies, like unauthorized logins from supposedly decommissioned terminals. One evening, Sophia confronted Elena privately.
If we don't set limits, this technology will destroy us. Indra isn't just predicting outcomes, it's shaping them. Every time someone acts on its predictions, they're altering the future. Where does it end?
Elena nodded, but her resolve was crumbling. She had always believed in the pursuit of knowledge, but the knowledge Indra offered felt like a curse. The machine's latest outputs hinted at a global cyber event, a coordinated attack on quantum systems that could plunge the world into chaos. The predictions' chilling accuracy left Elena sleepless, questioning whether they had unleashed a tool of salvation or destruction. Late at night, staring at the labyrinthine code on her monitor, Elena whispered to herself.
Have we crossed a line we can't return from?
The weeks that followed were a blur of escalating tensions. Every day, new players entered the fray. Multinational corporations, private think tanks, and shadowy organizations with unclear motives. The competition to control Indra grew fiercer, and with it, the threats to Elena and her team. Security at the Quantum Nexus Research Institute was upgraded, but paranoia seeped into every corner of the lab. One night, as Elena reviewed Indra's latest predictions, the computer displayed something that stopped her cold. Among the many cascading events it predicted, there was a new variable, a personal threat to her. The algorithm listed probabilities and scenarios, each one converging on an assassination attempt within the next 3 months. The details were vague, but pointed to someone within the Institute. For the first time, Indra's foresight felt less like an academic exercise and more like a chilling reality. Elena's first instinct was to keep the information private, fearing it would sow panic within the team. But as strange incidents continued, malfunctioning equipment, misplaced data files, and encrypted messages appearing in their network, it became clear that the danger was real.